Hello guys, this is Roger69501 and welcome to my channel. Well, on this video I'm gonna give you my thought for this story arc, which is from Justice League. The name of the story arc is Timeless. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-part story arc. So here's part 1, which is issue number 15. Love the covers that has a white background. Check out that cover. Awesome. Part 2, issue number 16. Pretty nice cover, not bad at all. Part 3, issue 17. Check that out. Sorry about the glare. Issue 18. Check that out. And the last part, issue number 19. Check that out. Awesome cover. Okay, let's get started. Timeless. Well, what you see on the cover is actually what's happening on the inside. You see, there's a guy called, there's some group of kind of like sentinels. So the story starts that we see, the story goes, it's a little bit complicated to follow in the sense that the story is divided like a 3 or 4 timeline. It starts from the present and then goes to the past and then goes to the future. But the future and the past is from a different timeline. So it's not on the same timeline. So it's a little bit complicated. So I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can. So let's start on the present. As we can see here, we see Batman riding his 4-track. Sorry about the glare again. Check that out. Awesome. So the thing is that there is a white light, kind of like erasing everything. Remember, if some of you read it, Zero Hour back in the 90s when everything was erased by a white light? Well, that's what is happening. So the thing is that Batman called Superman while he was with Lois Lane and John. The thing is that he did that in purpose because the light erased them. And Superman did not like that. So Superman thinks that Batman did that. Batman did that in purpose. They said, "Look, where's my wife and my son? The white light took him away, and you call me here so that way my family can die? No way, forget it." So Batman says, "Look, we're gonna get it back. Relax. But don't worry about it. We will." So the thing is that at that same moment, we see the Infinity Building. Well, that Infinity Building is been appearing in Rebirth since the beginning. I believe it's the first time that the Infinity Building first time shows up. I think was the new at the end of the New 52. I believe so. I'm not sure. I have to go and check it out, but I believe so. Anyway, so we have the Infinity Building that belongs to this young kid, which is a punk, but very intelligent, smart-ass punk. So while all that's going on, Aquaman was sent back in time, as we can see here. So Aquaman was sent back in time to Atlantis about, I guess I was sent back a couple of thousand years back. Couple of thousand years back in the past. And then we go to the present. Then there is a young woman running away, and they ask the Justice League for the help because of them. And when they show up a bunch of guys, they jump all over them. Those are the timeless soldiers or whatever. So we see Wonder Woman. She was transported to some other timeline where she sees cells. And we see her father, or what used to be her father, when he was a young guy. we see Flash the moment when the accident happened, the lightning, while he was working on the lab, and the explosion, and how he got his power. Well, he arrived at that timeline. So basically, the first issue goes kind of spread the whole Justice League kind of like spread out on different timelines. So we see Superman because the only one that they are left is Superman and Batman. Because according to the Infinity Building, the little kid and his 5 stones, that according to the stone, well, the only one who can save the timeline on and the universe is Batman and Superman. Are the only two that can save it. So then not only that, and then we go to the 31st century where Cyborg was sent to that timeline in the future. So everything is so messed up. This is the part where I tell you where Flash was sent. The moment when the accident happened, the lightning, and where he got his speed powers. So the thing is that the young girl, that's the thing about this book. It's kind of like they're in the timeline. Some of them are on the past, some of them are on the future. But at the same time, they're talking to the young woman. It's kind of like if they're subconscious. Physically, they're not in the past or in the future. More like the subconscious, I believe so, because they don't explain it here. Because first we saw that they were on the past. Some of them they were on the future. Now they are talking to her, asking them to destroy that black city over here. Which, by the way, looks awesome. Look at it. So it's kind of confusing. And then from there we go to the Infinity Building, and then they say that, well, we had to save the universe. So it's kind of confusing though. So issue number 16, Timeless Part 2. So we see Batman again on his Forja, which, by the way, is an awesome toy. Look at that. Check that. Awesome. So we see that, well, the only one who can save the timeline and the universe is Superman and Batman, as I said before. Now we are with Aquaman, where he was sent 47,000 years in the past. So that was almost on the Stone Age, maybe. 47,000 years ago. Ah, wow. That's way back. That's way back. To Atlantis. So they are trying to arrest him. They almost killed him. But they tell the queen at that place that, well, look, in my time, I'm the king of Atlantis. So they don't believe him, but eventually they do, because they see one of the kind of like a tube from the Infinity Building, as we can see here. So each timeline has one of those two. So then from there we go to 500 years from now, in the future, way past the 31st century, I believe so. I don't know. Too many years. So we see Simon and Jessica. The thing is that they arrive into a timeline where Green Lanterns are outlawed. Only some few Green Lanterns that were chosen, actually, they created those rings that are allowed to be Green Lanterns. Well, actually, they have some different name. So the thing is that they decide to, and they fight, but nothing big happened. So so they follow them to their place, which happened to be a giant battery. Awesome. Oh, okay. So we see here, so the thing is that we take in lifetime, but now we have the light, and we will bring order to this world. So they use some kind of, so as you can see, I mean, it's kind of confusing. Look at it. And then from there we go to the present, where we see Superman talking to the kid about this girl, the one that asked the Justice League to save her. You see, she's the keeper. She's the one. She's kind of like the version of Marvel, the Watcher. I mean, she'd be watching mankind since before they were whatever. I mean, way before. So the thing is that you see the timeless. There's the main guy. He wants to erase all the superheroes of planet Earth because on his mind, the superheroes are kind of like a disease to mankind. They are not good in their mind. So they decide, so he feels like by erasing and killing, and by what I mean by erasing is killing them, it will save mankind. And I'm talking about it's time for us to save history. And I'm talking about this guy over here that looks like one of the characters on that Japanese movie Akira. Kind of reminds me of. Or Tetsuo. Check that out. Reminds me of him. So this is the main guy who'll be controlling all those timeless. Because he wants to erase all the superheroes. Because to him, well, they are diseased. They are not good. Because being superheroes, they have superpowers. So what, regardless whether they got it by accident or by birth, for him, it changed history, and it will change the how I can explain. It will change. It changed history. It changed the future. But there's a specific word. It changed the path of mankind because instead to have the destiny to go one path, because no human being has superpower. Now all the superheroes, well, the path have changed direction. For good or for worse, there's no way to tell. But that's how he feels. So that's why he's telling Superman. Not only that, that this green guy that looks like Hulk, well, he's the one who kidnapped Lois Lane and Lily John because he knows the power that Superman has. So by having locked up Lois Lane and Lily John, he controlled Superman. And Superman, he said, well, he tried, but it's not going to work for too long. Not only that, the Superman tried to kick his ass. The thing is that thing, what's his name? Forgot he has a. His name is Tempus. 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 So the thing is that, well, when he was about to punch Tempus on the eye, well, he has on his chamber, he kind of like lowered the yellow sun and filled the room with red energy, red sun. I mean, I just been wondering when I was reading it that now the bad guy knows a little trick how to control Superman by using red, red ray or red light to block. I mean, the best way to be Superman is just blocking the yellow light and giving red light. Red light will take his power out, so he just become powerless. I've been noticing that the bad guys they're using that. So, but hey, it's comic book. So from there we see that we see Wonder Woman, and she's on the timeline. We see Flash dealing with when he was at the moment when he was getting his power. we see our Green Lanterns on their timeline. I mean, it's just it's kind of like it's too much back and forth. I mean, sometimes I like stories that deals with time, but when they go back and forth too much, well, it gets too confusing. Sometimes the writers they lose touch. The thing is that while being in Mount Olympus, they managed to free one of the gods, Wonder Woman, with the help of some of the guys from Mount Olympus. So, if they don't do that, that place will be destroyed. And then not only that, that one of the person that was working with the guy on the building, uh, well, looks like she happens to be Lex Luthor's daughter. Seems like from some other timeline. So here we see this is part 4. Check that out. So here we see that timeless. So we see that this is the moment when Superman left Lois Lane and Little John at the gas station when Batman called him. So now we see where they are kind of like in some kind of cell, kind of like what this guy Brainiac do. That kind of like he takes a whole scene and put it on the bottle. Well, that's more or less where Lois Lane is at, kind of like that. So we see that Batman is putting on the suit from a Lex Luthor power suit. Look at that, awesome. So they are making a plan to attack Tempus, take over, control it, and save the timeline. So what they do is they do that. I mean, there is a big fight. Not only that even though that each superheroes are in a different timeline, somehow they can communicate to each other. That's another. I was like, well, that's cool. I mean, one of them is 47,000 years in the past versus one that is 500 years in the future. The other one is on the 35th century, and some of them they're on the present, and they're all talking to each other because they're using some. They have some kind of wrist, kind of like a wristwatch, but that's cool. So being in a different timeline, they can communicate with each other. They can make a plan how to get together again. And actually, that's what happened. Check that out. I mean, there's a big fight going on. I mean, this whole issue is epic. Check this out. Look at it. This is epic. Let's see what else. So they took one of the towers, kind of like disconnected, so that way it will crash where a Tempus is, as we can see there. I mean, everything here is big. Reminds me of the movie Independence Day, kind of like that. If they were going to make a movie out of this, it would be kind of like Independence Day. So the thing is that finally they do that. They control everything. They destroy the machine and the timeless. They seems like kind of like they are machines, just like Brainiac, and they just falling down from the sky and they start functioning and they just drop. That's it. They just drop. The thing is, now remember the keeper, the girl I was telling you about that she just kind of like the watcher. Well, she absorbed the power from Tempus. Now she has the power. Now I love these double spread page. Look at it. Just awesome. Look at it. So now she has the power. And she wants to finish. She got possessed by that power and kind of like reminds me of Jean Grey of Phoenix. Look at that. So Now she got the power of Tempus. Now she wants to, she been possessed and corrupted. Now she wants to continue and finish what Tempus wants to do, as we see here on the card. Awesome. So we see the superheroes. I mean, look at another double page spread. Look at that. No, excuse me. Look at that. So we see Batman, Superman, and the other girl, and the other woman. Forgot her name. So the thing is, oh, that's all you got. The thing is, when they start fighting, you see, so Superman tells Batman, look, I'm gonna, because she's about to attack them. This is some kind of race. So Superman screamed to Batman, look, take her, go with her, save my family. Save Louis and Little John, while I stay here fighting with her and keep her occupied while you're doing that. And Batman says, okay, fine. So she attacks using some kind of race, and Superman counter attack her with using his eye beam race or whatever. So basically, it's kind of like Dragon Ball. Kind of. Look at it. So there's a big explosion. Look at it. So what is it new? So the thing is that, I mean, everything here is big. I mean, you can tell so much power. I mean, one thing to admit that the art is great. Look at that. Lot of power. So the thing is that they do that. Then we go to Metropolis, the 30th century. Then we go Washington, D.C., the 26th century. And then we go Central City a few years before the present. Ancient Greece, ancient Atlantis, until they all get together at the present. While all that's happened, we see that they're talking to Tempus. Look at that. Only to be broken by the kid, which happens to be a genius, which is also a jerk, but he's a genius because he always talking to the stones. Look at that. So he kind of like got between their transmission, and he kind of like took over, and Tempus doesn't like that. Because seems like Tempus he's like a hologram, kind of. The thing is that Tempus, in a way, he's afraid of Superman. Because he knows everybody of this timeline, past, present, and future. But with the new Superman, he knows the past kind of like an echo, but he doesn't know his future. Because he even told Superman, look, you and your wife and your kid are not what you think you are. Which that was told that someone that Mr. Oz told the same thing to Superman on the New 52 before Rebirth. He told Superman, you are not what you think you are. Neither your wife and son. So Tempus said the same thing. He said, I cannot see your future. So that's dangerous. So that's why he tried to control Superman by kidnapping Lois Lane and Little John. That's the whole reason. So not only that, well, now they managed to control Tempus, or kind of like destroy him in a way. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, look at all that damage. Look at it. So all the timeless are dying in all the timelines. We can see here. Look at it. So now the whole fight is the Justice League and the Keeper, which now she has the Tempus power. So she wants to continue what Tempus wants. She wants to erase all superheroes. Every single superhero, or well, let's not call it superhero. She wants to erase every meta-human, whether he's a superhero, whether he's a good guy or bad guy. She wants to erase it all from the timeline. That's the only way to save mankind, by erasing all the metahumans. So she almost kills Batman, as we can see here. And she said, that's all you got? And we see finally the rest of the Justice League over here are together against her. And look at that. So all hell breaks loose. The thing is that finally Superman got together with his wife and son, as you can see, and Batman, thank you, you're okay, you're alive. And so we see that we're talking to the Keeper, kind of like she got, kind of like dispossessed of Tempus power, but she's talking about it's coming. We don't know what it is, but we all feel it. All the higher beings do. It's coming here, and it's coming because of you, the superheroes. You wish everyone had gone with the Reapers. You wish I finished what I started. You beg the Timeless to try again. And Flash says, Molly, and the girl says, you did this. Now it can be stopped. Not ever. And the next chapter will be the death of the Justice League. So this was the end of the story, kind of like open-ended. So we see, so it was a confusing story. I mean, the story got deconfused or unconfused by part 3. Half of part 3 or to, yeah, from issue number 17, the last 3 issues when it got a lot better. But the first 2 issues, man, they were confusing as hell. I almost dropped it. But I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a try and see how it goes. And the story is pretty good. It's not bad. It's just too many jumping around. Too many jump back and forth. Just too much for my taste. Hey, I mean, I like timeline, going back in time stories, but when the writer kind of lost his horizon, it's kind of like, well, kind of got lost, at least to me. But other than that, it was okay story. I would give it 4 out of 5. Nothing special. So, but the best cover for this, I'm gonna choose the best cover, and this is the best cover of this story arc, part 1. So, this is done by Bryan Hitch, story and art, I believe so. I believe this is the art is done by him also, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if it's done by him or not. I believe so. I'm not sure though. Why did I have to do it on the last page? God. Let's see. No, Bryan Hitch is the writer and Fernando Pasarin is the penciler. Yes, I like the art though. I like it. So, like I said, I give it 4 out of 5. That would say that you should buy. Well, you can borrow it and get it in trade, maybe. But other than that, it was a fun story, nothing special. So it's nothing. It's not the type of story that, oh, I have to stop doing this because I have to go and get it. No, at least not for me. It's not. So like I said, I give it 4 out of 5. Average story. It was okay. Well, guys, this is it. I hope that you like this video. Till then, bye.